What's up, everyone? This is episode 120 of the Tesla Beat. I can't believe, 120 episodes in. Shout out to Hans, Brian, and Joe. How's it going, everyone?
Oh man, I'm in Tampa. I am ready for Cyberfest and Furious tomorrow. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Join me, won't you? Tickets are still available. Just fly on in.
Oh, so we're fine then, huh? Looks like we're
I
Yeah,
fine.
guess.
yeah,
I
we're
mean,
fine.
Yeah, so either way, it's a new one. But yeah, I think if you are out in the Florida area, you got a Cybertruck, go to Cyberfest. I heard that they may have like 100 Cybertrucks registered. Shout out to Man Cave from Colorado. But yeah, go check that out. But yeah, just another week here. Shout out to Insta360. I have a link to see. It is an amazing desktop companion to bring with you to stream. So shout out to them. We posted the link below. But yeah, let's just jump into it, guys. Another interesting week. Obviously, with a huge pullback, which was crazy. Could be seen as a buying opportunity. I know I picked up some more shares this week just after it hitting close to 400 and even further below that today. But so this morning it actually kind of rebounded.
Your screenshot,
Huh?
your screenshot caught the ticker.
Yeah,
oh yeah, as
exactly.
it was rolling.
Exactly. No, this is real time. You just can't see it stop ever. Yeah, so it's at around like $403.60. It could have changed a little bit, but I think it was up to like 15, 16%, even 20 at some peak year to date. Now it's back down to roughly around 6.5%, 6.4. So it's kind of pulled back a little bit, but I think the whole market has just been correcting the past couple of weeks along with the crypto market. So interesting times, but yeah, so bummer to see that run up, but all good things will come back, especially when you have great things ahead of you like Tesla. All right, Joe, I'll pass this one to you.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, they approved the compensation, and so there's some. Now, Sawyer Murray posted the performance award shares have officially been issued, split into 12 tranches, 423.7 million total shares. So this is a SEC filing that was posted. Brian, what do you think?
My question is, does this hit the balance sheet now, or are they just locking in today's low price so that when it is recognized, it costs billions instead of cajillions? But anyone who's surprised that the vote passed hasn't been paying attention ever, I would argue. We did see some very deep, meaningful analysis in the week leading up to it, just sure it would never pass, which makes sense if you ignore everything you know and everything you've read. So this is nice to get it behind us. Now Elon can focus on actually getting to work. He came out on stage in a very good mood, and people said, "Wouldn't you be in a good mood if you just got that kind of payday?" And I said, "He did not get a payday. What he got was a job."
Yeah, I like how people thought that he was just handed $1 trillion. Did you speak about that at all, Han? Did you hear about or have any conversations?
Yeah, I haven't had any conversations with individuals, but it is silly. And Larry's post was actually really great on that the other day, just kind of showing how much economic activity Elon creates and like how net positive it is. And I mean, even in the structure of the compensation package, you can kind of see it, but it's much deeper than that. That this is the thing that people who aren't shareholders and don't really understand what's going on just gloss over and completely miss that Elon only gets that $1 trillion worth of stock if he makes the rest of the investors, just a cool extra $6 trillion in the share price. And so like getting from where we are today to, which is a little, in the neighborhood of $1 trillion to over 8.5 trillion minus the, trillion that we're giving to him, which it's not really minus, but in dilution. So yeah, it's cool that he, like, so many people get to benefit from what Elon is actually able to accomplish, and that as retail shareholders, we do have access to at least one Elon company, even though the rest of them are all private. And so that's really cool. But then that discounts even all of the economic activity of all the salaries of all the companies that he has, and all the suppliers that they pay, and all of the people that the suppliers employ, and all of the taxes, both on the corporate entities themselves and also all of the payroll taxes. That, that was one of the eye-opening things to me, is just to see how much money the government makes just from the payroll taxes on all of these companies is eye-watering. And yeah, there's so much money that ends up getting plowed back into the economy and directly into the hands of governments all around the country from all of the work that Elon is doing. And yeah, it's really, I don't expect him to sell meaningful amounts of shares in these companies. It's this is not liquid. He doesn't have a Scrooge McDuck vault full of gold that he can spend whenever. He owns these companies that are accomplishing incredible things and are, have ambitions to accomplish even more incredible things. And so the number is really just a measuring stick of how big of things Elon can do for humanity. And if we really want Elon to do even greater things for humanity in the future than he's done in the past, well, then of course the little number on the measuring stick is going to go up.
What I pointed out, someone in my comments on YouTube said, why it's obscene. Why should anyone get this amount of money? Should is the wrong question. I agree with you. It's too much money. How about this? I'll make you a deal. What if we make him give half of it to the government so they can build whatever it is they build, homeless shelters, veterans programs, any of those things? This is money that's coming from thin air. It's not coming from taxpayers. It's not coming from the wages of workers. It's not even coming from the purchase price of the products. It's coming from the shareholders. As you can see right there in the thing there, Joe himself paid them. He paid Elon, and that money is going to go back into the government coffers. He's going to pay the tax, or he can dodge the tax by just not exercising the options and not getting paid. I mean, that's clever, I suppose, but this is going to be the biggest tax windfall the government has ever enjoyed in history.
Yeah, I think that's kind of lost on a lot of people, is the fact that, like you and Hans both pointed out, this is a win for investors, and that's, I think, is first and foremost should be the thought. I mean, everybody's looking at what Elon gets paid. That's just a side piece to what is the real point. And the point is the investors, and we get to gain off of this. And that's I mean, as an investor, that's what you would want. You'd want the stock to go up. Everybody's always talking about all this and this and that. You want this to happen because you want him to work hard for it, and you want it to happen for all of us. So it's not really about him so much as it is about us. And I think people kind of lose sight of that when they just look at billionaire bad type of monikers, how that's I don't know when that became a thing, but not everybody is an evil villain. And so, especially somebody like how Larry pointed out in his post does a net positive for humanity than anyone else. So it just really, there's people kind of lose sight of that in their hate and vitriol for a man who is trying to do good. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Sorry, Hans, were you gonna say something?
The only extra thought I have on this is you just always have to be extremely skeptical when somebody is telling you, hey, that person over there, they're evil, you should hate them. Because usually the person saying that is actually trying to gain influence and power over you, and the ability to basically, take something from you, whether it's your hope, whether it's your money, whether it's your freedom, your autonomy. There's almost always a huge hidden cost that you pay when you believe that type of rhetoric from whoever, on whichever side.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything. It's kind of funny how we went down this point, because I think that's the only headline that you've seen all week. Elon Musk is gonna get $1 billion or $1 trillion in pay. It's do you not know the insane work that he has to do, the crazy valuation he's got to take this company up 8x, 8.5x, whatever it is. And I think that's just, again, it goes to show you that people just are, they're just not, well, obviously the media does not care about the truth, but no one's going to talk about all of the things you guys mentioned, which is the insane value he's going to create for every one Tesla job. You're talking potentially 10 suppliers jobs are created. And also too, like, you think of how Tesla has, like, I think the biggest critique that everyone continuously says, oh, well, if he creates all these bots, all these jobs are going to be lost. Elon's thinking about that. He's talking about how the could help with poverty. It's going to help with surgery. Like, imagine medical surgeries being in like the most underserved and remote areas. Now everyone has equal medical procedures, right? I mean, there's just a lot of stuff like that. So I'm just, again, thinking about like the benefit to humanity, the insane value. And then I think, as I think it was, you guys were mentioning too, is just, he has paid the most amount of taxes in American history. His stuff is, he said it, he doesn't have all these like insane things to like dock, taxes and whatnot. But it's just simple. It's like he's highly invested in his companies, and that's really kind of it. $44 billion was the only company he really ever purchased. But out of that came XAI, which ended up buying Twitter at the time, ended up saving him what he would say 3 to 5 years, maybe more, to create some type of social platform and whatnot. And the crazy thing is, imagine out of all of the platforms to buy, like, X is literally the most real-time data set you can literally have, right? Whereas a lot of the other platforms are just delayed, right? You see stuff that's like 6 days old, 3 days old. And so, but yeah, so all that to say is just that, yeah, he's gonna benefit, our government just in the amount of taxes him and his companies are gonna pay, the counties that continue to benefit from these companies being there, right? Like, we just, at my service center, the town that they put a service center in is a small town called Los Gatos, and the service center is going to be the key delivery hub for 3 and Ys in the South Bay here in the Bay Area. But the Los Gatos, the former Los Gatos mayor and some of the other people commented just how huge this is going to be, just to flow dollars into this town. So, like I said, there's just a huge Musconomy effect that happens, and people, they just see one person, oh, they did this. It's like, no, look at what they've done. Like, you think of Amazon, how much has it changed all of our lives to just get something within a day or 2 days if you have first world problems, right? So, but yeah, it's easy to say billionaire bad.
Yeah, a lot of people have mobility issues and can't go to the store. There are a lot of obstacles for some people to actually shop in person, whether it's mobility or immune deficiency or any number of things. Therefore, I was having a conversation earlier today where we were talking about how the number of people who despise Jeff Bezos can't name who the actual CEO of Amazon is. Guys, he's been gone for years. You're mad at the wrong person. It's blind hate. And when you don't have something, it's easy to obsess over it. If you didn't have food, you would obsess over food. And a lot of people don't have $1 billion, I'm told. I will wait for a citation on that because I've been mistaken before, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Hans, what were you going to say earlier?
Well, I've just been looking for the actual announcement. But if I remember correctly, I think the final boss battle milestone that Elon has to achieve for Tesla in order to get his full stock award is $400 billion in annual EBITDA. And that's like a really big number. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Yeah, $400 billion is a lot of billions. And in order to reach that, you have to have insane growth. But even if you want to be completely conservative and just put a 30 multiple on $400 billion of EBITDA. That's a $12 trillion market cap, not an $8.5 trillion market cap. And if the market is assigning a more reasonable growth multiple to that, then you're talking about 50, and that puts you at $20 trillion worth of market cap for Tesla. And so, I think while the headline number, because it's the last one that's in the milestones, is 8.5 trillion, like in order for Elon to get his full compensation, Tesla will be far larger than $8.5 trillion, and the package will be worth far more than $1 trillion for Elon as well.
It'll also be worth more because it has to remain at those levels for years for it to count.
Yeah.
Quarters on some of the milestones, but then he can't cash it out for years. So just like when a trillion is a nice round number, it's easy, it's sexy for the headlines. The reality is it's going to be a much bigger number. And if this compensation plan had been voted down, Elon's still going to be a trillionaire because he owns 42% of SpaceX and 13% as of last week anyway, before the new vote and the new issues were resolved of Tesla. Just those before you count in XAI, of which he owns a fairly sizable portion, Neuralink Boring Company. He's well on his way to becoming the first trillionaire. Anyhow, this just cements it. And these targets are, as Hans pointed out, a little bit on the impossible side. It's never been done before. But that's also true of almost all the milestones in the previous compensation plan.
I was literally going to say that too.
and if you'd have told me that the future of SpaceX hinges on the ability to catch a supersonic skyscraper with chopsticks, I'd have asked you if you were on drugs. So there are things that Tesla can do that Elon's companies can do that others find challenging, if not outright impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to be like when you think of I thought of Ron Barron this morning, obviously because of the Barron conference, and I think someone put a quote out. I don't think it's a new one, but actually Ron Barron actually thinks in the next 10 years that they will get there to the 8.5 billion. I believe it was. I saw a clip this morning, but yeah, I mean that's definitely one thing people forget, and yet they just think he's just gonna be paid this money, but nope, he's got to earn every dollar.
Can you imagine him failing and the company only being worth $4.5 trillion? So much upside. The argument is ridiculous to not even go for the package at all. Oh man, there's no way he's gonna do it. Yeah, then great. Whatever.
Exactly. Then he doesn't get paid. You know what I mean?
But we still get paid.
Well, he could still get a partial payment, but and it could still be $1 trillion once that's why I kept telling people, if you hate Elon, you gotta vote yes, because he's gonna fail. We don't think so, but you've got that confidence. Stick it to the man, make him work 10 years for nothing.
Yeah, it will be wild. All right, so Tesla has a problem in China. They literally are building a factory on a swamp, right? No, I'm joking. That was the headlines 4 years ago. They built the 5 millionth battery pack from Giga Shanghai. That is just crazy considering, and it's crazy how much this factory just got put up literally a couple years ago. And since then, how it's become one of the main factories, if not the main factory that's pumping out vehicles. I think it's bigger than Fremont now at this point, right? It's pumping out more than Fremont, right?
Yes, absolutely yes. Yeah. It's also twice the square footage of Fremont, so twice the square footage, a more modern design, and China efficiency adds up. No, it's just a watermelon farm. They're just pushing dirt around. It's a boondoggle to make investors think that something good is happening. They're going to rack up all this debt in China they can't possibly pay back and be doomed. Except they paid it all back with interest early. And it turns out they're making a few cars in China. This is a pretty unstoppable story. Every quarter we hear it's over. The competition is coming. Nay, the competition is here now. And that's great. People are buying cars from the competition, and they're still buying more and more Teslas because Tesla is a premium vehicle in China and people want it more than lower priced alternatives like the Wuling, which is the number 2 car in China and has a price that is less than the profit margin on a Model Y. So if the Wuling dropped its cost of goods to $0 and kept the price the same, they'd still have less profit per unit than Tesla. So there's a lot of big news out of China all the time. This is no exception. Lynette Lopez, who got famous for saying it's just a dirt field, still has a job. So I guess there's enough love in the community for bad information to keep people like her well fed.
Hey, if Johnson is still working as an analyst, then
Is he?
anything's possible.
Is he? Is he? Who are his? I keep asking Gordon Johnson, who pays you? Who funds you? Clearly, you're not investing people's money, but you do have an income. Where's it coming from? Go Joe.
I mean, either way, he's definitely earned himself airtime. Anything that they need to hear something negative about Tesla, just go throw him on, and he'll say whatever music you want to play.
That's another funny thing about the Elon hate. It's like when you look at the media and all these people who have all these jobs that are anti-Elon, like he's paying you. Like imagine if you didn't have Elon to hate, what would you be saying? What would the news be about? Like it baffles me that these people have these jobs that hinge on him and everything he does, yet they want to like hate him. So bizarre.
I have a new book called I Hate Amazon. Check it out on Amazon. What? I don't understand.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's so good.
They'd let you. They wouldn't care.
Yeah. Amazon's still going to be selling them. If they're moving them, hey, hate Amazon, but buy from us. Oh, man, that was so good. All right. So sorry for the incorrect spelling. I was thinking of Columbia University versus the country, but Tesla is launching or is teasing the launch of Columbia as well. They put out something pretty cryptic, but really exciting nonetheless to see more South American countries being lit up. So I believe there's like 1 or 2 other countries that have opened, whether I think it's like Chile, Peru, something like that. So really cool to see another country open up and then continue to expand in the South America region. All right, Joe, I'll throw this one to you.
Yeah, this is pretty funny because back in August.
Yo, your mic is really, ooh.
That
I
was
have
brutal.
What did I do?
I
Okay.
don't know.
Better now.
Okay.
Way better now.
That was weird.
Yeah.
So back in August, they were renting out vehicles, $45 a day, and this is so news. But now they're doing $60, and this also became news. I just think it's funny how like people have such a short-term memory when it comes to these things, and they're like, "Oh, Tesla's failing. They got to rent vehicles." Like, okay, first of all, kudos to Tesla for coming up with an alternate source of income. But second of all, what OEM would be like, hey, we like our vehicle so much and we think you'll like them too, that you can just rent it. Just try it out. You know what I mean? Like this is like next level thinking.
And they're not losing money at 40 or 60 bucks a day. They're making money. If the alternative is what other manufacturers will do is basically give them away on lease deals or cut the pricing to the bone for fleets just to move them out the door, just so they can maintain their economies of scale, even if they're not making a profit on those units. If you can find a way to take care of your ability to make more inventory than you can sell by still making money, go for it.
Yeah, and I love this for consumers, definitely. Like, and so, I mean, I guess I'm somewhat confused because it is limited, like geographic availability. And is it still only if you have a vehicle in service? But regardless, like $60 a day for any of the different well, I'm sure the pricing is different per vehicle, but $60 a day starting to get any of Tesla's vehicles with FSD, like that makes so much sense. Do you have a little road trip in your state that you want to go on and you want to try out, hey, what's it like to, go 4 hours here and back in a Tesla? Is it really as bad as people say? I don't know. Go try it. See what you think.
And especially when it comes to people who have the pre-refreshed 3 or Y, they may have complaints about range. The highway range on the pre-refresh models was pretty unrealistic. The rating that you saw was really more for a mix of city driving. But with the new models, the 3 and Y, you're going to get, even at 65, 70 miles an hour, about the range that's stated. And if you just hang out in the city and hypermile it, you're going to get far more than range. That's something people might want to find out over the course of a weekend before they decide whether or not it's time to upgrade.
Well, not only that, but think about the cost, right? If you're doing $40 a day, that's way more than any lease or even monthly payment would be for if you were just to finance it out and sell it. Like, yeah, this is a really good deal. It's pretty crazy that they thought of this.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense when you think of all of the stores that they have across the United States as well. Obviously, it seems like that this is probably just rolling out in a couple of cities right now. San Diego, I think, was a screenshot or something, but they're just testing it. So, imagine too, this could, in some ways, they're kind of becoming like a little Turo in some ways, potentially, especially if it's open up to the public. You're not having the car to be in service. But it gets more, as we've said, since like, the early days of Tesla, butts and seats sell the cars. You give FSD included in that 60 days, or sorry, that $60 per day, at some point, especially if you just make it simple for people with the tutorials or whatever it is as they have in the car. Again, it's just going to help move more cars and get more people exposed to it. So it's just going to be they literally have the infrastructure to literally keep a part of their lot to go, and like it's literally becomes like a zip car. You just walk up, get the car, you leave. You just maybe Uber from the airport over, or who knows, maybe there'll be a shuttle at some point if they even want to go that route.
They'll just send it to pick you up.
Yeah, there's that too, which is going to be even crazier. All right, so I wish I had it. I forgot. I probably should have mentioned it, but FSD is potentially coming to Korea. But Sawyer put out an amazing tweet the other day where he just posted all of the countries that we've seen FSD being, showcased in and working in. And so, you're talking obviously Australia, I believe even New Zealand. It's actually rolled out in New Zealand, in Australia, but all the countries in Europe and now Korea. But it really is just an exciting time because now you're talking, I mean, with places, like Australia, like you're talking right-hand drive, you're talking different dynamics. The roads are made differently, the highways are made differently, and the amount of data and information that's coming in from all of these different, really, like, I think vicinities and locations is just, going to be continue to be huge to just make FSD that much better. But yeah, so it's coming to Korea. Hopefully, if you're out there, you're going to be getting it pretty soon. All right, Joe, this one's to you.
I thought this was like probably the most diabolical post that Tesla has ever done. I think this is pretty wild. So, but the Roadster reservations are now open, even though we know for a fact that it's it's not coming until 2027, and they've taken money from people since 2019. They want more money. That I think this is so diabolical, but man, that car is going to be freaking incredible when it comes out. I had made another post, and I thought this would be a good idea. I thought that the team that they had make those 20 cyber cabs should make the Founder Series Roadsters, because I think that the people who bought that original, who had to pay the whole 250,000, they had to pay that in full. If people don't remember, you had $50,000 deposit, but if you really wanted the Founder Series, you had to pay it in full. You had to pay the car off. So that's $250,000 gone since 2019 for those people who were able to do it. But
just think of what that would be worth if they had put that in Tesla stock instead of
don't listen to him. Do not think about that. Do not think about that at all. Whatever you do not think about that. Oh man, I think Earl did a post on that. Like, it's like pretty crazy. But I think that the people who made that original Cybercab could dispatch a team to make this Founder Series. I mean, it doesn't need to be like with all the bells and whistles. It doesn't need to float, fly, or whatever it's going to be able to do. It doesn't need to hover and do all of that. These people wanted the speed of a vehicle. And I think if you put a plaid powertrain in a vehicle this size, it's going to do crazy numbers. And I think that's just what those Founder Series people want. I think Tesla should just do that for those people. I mean, I know they're planning this big, unveil product launch thing in April Fools, but man, I think they really dropped the ball on this one, to be honest. This is one of the things that I just I'm like, yikes.
It's coming for real this time, I think. All right. So this was, if it wasn't blatantly obvious, obviously, Tesla's not going to put out a video of their final production line of the robot even before it's been produced. But shout out to Julian from Tesla. I forgot his exact role there. I don't know if someone knows it, but just to be clear, this is our prototype production line that we are using today for our current research and development efforts. The real scalable production line that will come online next year will not just be bigger, it will be completely different. And when you think of, Elon said last week, 1 million in production line in Fremont, 100 million in Giga Texas. So, you're talking, I mean, the 1 million to 100 million, those lines are going to look completely different. So pretty crazy. Hans, were you going to say something?
I would just
No.
say that
Okay.
this is exactly the clarification that I guess was needed. This is a prototype line. This is not even pilot production. This is just where we build enough so they can wander around the campus at Palo Alto and validate. We all require validation. Humanoid robots are no different. They're just like us. So this is, when the line is done, it'll look more like something out of a sci-fi movie and less like any factory that we've ever had the opportunity to tour.
Yeah, I mean, you're hitting a line with a million first off. That's pretty crazy. And I know the Cybercab also, that's going to be dropping like hundreds of thousands. Like initially, I don't think they're trying to make just a few of those. So I think
the nameplate capacity on the first Cybercam line is supposed to be 1 million, and so that's comparable sizes of units produced, even though the product is significantly different.
Yeah.
Well, worth pointing out, Tesla has 140,000 employees. They make 1.5 million cars. That means every employee makes 10 cars a year. That's kind of crazy when you consider how many of them don't even make cars. It's a very productive company. And by square footage, if you look at Giga Shanghai, where they're making almost 1 million cars, they've only got 10 million square feet. So they're making something like 1 car for every 10 square feet of the factory per year. Tesla's a very efficient company.
That's crazy stats, Brian.
Thank you. That's why you bring me on.
That's why Brian gets paid the most out of all of us.
Well, that's why he's at Cyberfest. All right. Joe, this one's to you.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty cool. S.C. Robinson Jr. put this out. So they're doing some mega training down there in Texas. The Texas Brookshire Mega Factory held a student event yesterday. 30 students from the University of Houston. This is pretty cool because You got to get them young, guys. You got to get them young. You hook them, you get them early. No, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool that they're doing this, because I mean, as we know, the future is like electrons and batteries and everything else, and so there's a lot of manufacturing that goes on, and if you can get people interested in this type of stuff early on, then it's pretty good. And I think they did this for the high school too. Like a lot of those they had a program where a lot of those kids came out of high school and ended up working directly for Tesla in Texas in Austin when they did that initially as well.
That program actually got a bit of criticism when it came out, because Elon was saying, look, if you don't want to go to college, if you don't feel you can afford to go, you still have options. We have a training program. We can get you up and running, and you can have a good job here. Because, oh, he just wants to make America dumber or whatever. Oh, he wants wage slaves. Tesla factories pay really well. Most Tesla factory positions in the US pay significantly better than union shops at the big three, at least before the most recent contract, which is going to bankrupt all of those companies. This is a good job you can get in a place where you can, in your 20s, wind up having a real living. You can afford to have a nice life, afford to have children, afford to have kids, and be doing something that's fulfilling. And if you don't like your job at Tesla, there are other jobs at Tesla you might like better, and they will move you to something where you're a better fit. That's why it's such a popular company to work at, even though the hours are long, the demand is high, it is stressful. But if you can survive for even 5 or 10 years, you put that on your resume, you can open any door you want, go anywhere you want, or start your own company, as a lot of people do.
And
Yeah.
unless you sell the shares that you get as part of your compensation package over those 5 or 10 years, you will already be immensely wealthy. So, that kind of factors in too to that long-term compensation. And then especially for those who take advantage of the employee stock purchase program, where they get to buy stock at a discount, which is quite nice.
Yeah,
Free
typically
money.
typically those programs are, I think it's like 15% off the 52-week low, something crazy like that, or the rolling 12 or something, or the rolling 12 months. But yeah, I think that's the other thing that people forget, is that I remember when specifically when I was dealing and talking with people when we were dealing with like unionization of Tesla employees, and there was just some crazy stats I think out of Nevada that were shared about like how much, you know, a Tesla employee out of Nevada makes, if you remove like the executives and stuff like that, like just the average worker versus some of the, just the regular union workers. And it was significantly more. I don't want to give out random stats, but it was significantly more. And so, the crazy thing is, if you want to go to Tesla, you start out at the bottom, you can really make an impact and really work your way up in the factories. And for a lot of people that, just know a trade or something, it can really, and even have degrees and still be doing a trade. It really can be life changing. I've met so many of these employees come into my house working on my car, and they can all afford homes, even though they're doing, trade work versus working in technology, because Tesla stock has allowed them to get to a certain point. I know, Joe, you know a bunch of them as well. And so it's just, it really, people think it's, they forget that you can go and, you don't need a degree and you can still potentially go to the factory. I know Tesla's doing a lot of work with the high schools out there and doing some of those early training programs and stuff like that as well. I think in Travis County, but I could be wrong. But I feel like I've seen posts and stuff like that out there. So Tesla is all about giving back to the local communities. I mean, recently, I think the biggest thing I've seen come to mind is XAI. I think it's Brent put out some posts about the stuff that they're doing with the city of Nashville and how they're just, all of their work. So that's what happens with Elon's companies. He doesn't just go in and that's it. He goes in and he gives back as much as possible, and you see it. It's very much as a part of their DNA, especially when they come into a city. Okay, so today, if you are available, I think it's around 10, there will be a Barron conference, and I supposedly Elon's supposed to talk at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. But it looks like, and I think Brian or Hans, you guys mentioned that he typically does this, so it's not really a thing, but just the fact that it looks like Optimus is walking around, plus they have the full Tesla lineup there. And then I was making the comment about how the Cybercab, it does not look like it has any ropes around it. So, but I forgot if it was Brian or Hans, if you mentioned that they typically with these just roll out the red carpet anyways, just because they're such big investors.
Facts on facts.
Did you want to say something, Joe?
No, I just think it's pretty cool that not only did they do that, but Optimus there was a couple of shots of Optimus, and he's doing different poses, and so he's also not warded off at any means and completely running autonomously, it looks like, out there. So that's pretty cool.
For sure. All right. So, Joe, this one's to you. You're mute, Joe.
Yeah, sorry. This is one of those things that I think everybody realizes needs to happen, but because there's not enough information out there about the benefits of what this could be for the company, I think people kind of lose sight of the of what it's supposed to do, of what it could possibly do for investors. It's so you end up with something like this. The abstained amount is kind of, I don't know, because Elon has the abstain, right? So I think like his shares and a few of the top executives also had to abstain. So I don't think like they can vote. So when it's abstained for this proposal, I think it looks like it's favored on negatively as opposed to just being like blank. So I think that's why they said they're going to have to review this more. But Brian or Hans, you guys want to expound?
If Elon can't vote on something, that changes the vote overall. But it's not like 100% of his shares voted no, because it changes the denominator. It changes by how many shares we're counting. So that would be 13% of his shares voted no, which is still a lot of shares. But it ends up only being about, realistically, a 1% difference in the total vote count. So it would be, it's still passed. It's still something to consider. My question on that, I didn't know how to vote on that, because my question isn't, should we have a piece of XAI? It's at what price? And I was a lot more excited about it at 5 billion or 20 billion than I am at 400 billion, but I just don't know how it would work. And I think it's beyond my skill set to make a decision like that.
Well, I get that, but I mean, people can say the same thing about investing in Tesla, right? There's so many people that, oh man, I can't, at $400 a share, I just can't. But guess what? It's been $400 a share plenty of times, and it's gone up.
And when people ask me if they should invest in Tesla, I say I don't give that kind of advice. It's beyond my scope. I know that when I invested, it did pretty good for me.
Right.
That's because I saw the mud field, and I didn't think it was a mud field. I could see the progress. I invested just on the strength of Fremont and the half completed Giga Shanghai, and I knew that just on that it would outperform the S&P 500. That was my confidence, and it's done pretty okay for me since 2019.
Well, not to give any financial advice, but Hans, what do you think about XAI and Tesla?
And start your sentence with, "This is financial advice."
Yes, if you could, please.
Well, this is a financially loaded statement, but yes, I think that XAI and Tesla definitely have a large area of possible collaboration. And personally, I would love to see there be some sort of ownership exchange or, mutual benefit that is shared between the companies, because especially as we move towards Optimus, but even in the car, like we've already seen Grok rolled out in the car. I think that's a great first little integration and collaboration between the two companies. But increasingly for robotaxi, I think there are semantic understandings of language and reasoning through driving scenarios. We've seen recently Ashok talked about how they have included reasoning capabilities in the language model, or as a language model component of the overall end-to-end driving system for FSD. A lot of that work is informed by stuff that XAI is doing and could be improved by what XAI is doing. And then especially for Optimus, that's going to be a critical component that's going to be necessary in order for Optimus to succeed. And it would just be way better if we don't have to, duplicate the work that XAI is already doing inside of Tesla separately. So, I think that partnership between the two companies is definitely something that should exist. And then selfishly, I do think that XAI is going to be an immensely valuable company, and I would love for the shares that I own in Tesla to also include ownership in the upside that XAI is going to create. Brian's point, though, is well taken. Like the amount of money that they're having to raise right now in order to continue to fund these massive data center buildouts is incredible. And so you have to have incredible valuations to go along with your incredible fundraising campaigns. And so, is the risk reward trade-off today the right move for Tesla investors? I don't know. I 100% agree. Like, Tesla should have had a huge stake in some of the first early rounds. Like, the fact that we didn't get access to that is honestly a travesty. But regardless, we'll see how this plays out. And I am excited about the technical projects of both companies and their ability to, work together, collaborate to make Optimus just a wonderful product that does incredible things for humanity and space.
Well, the same could be said of SpaceX too, right? It's like one of those things, like you just really, as an investor, you really want to be kind of all in on things that Elon Musk puts his hand on, because I mean, you see how it works, and you see that. I mean, he's like, I mean, if he's such a failure, then he is failing fantastically. You know what I mean?
You can point to a couple little things like solar roof. I would say that that's a pretty big disappointment. But if that's compare it to any one of the big successes, and it's easy to forget that it ever happened. Now, Optimus, of course, is going to sell well as an autonomous humanoid. But if you really want it to sell, give it a steering wheel.
Yeah, and then I mean, if you think of two,
and pedals.
And pedals.
And who knows if it'll ship with one or the other. No, I'm joking. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I think for me, the amount of integration that Tesla will benefit from XAI. I mean, you're already seeing it with Grok, but if Grok can replace the voice command that is currently in the car with Grok and be fully integrated in the car, I think that's the single reason alone is to be able to have a good AI built on the device. I mean, that's going to be the thing. Is Tesla obviously has the AI that captures the vision and how to like go somewhere from the next, but when you think of how the humanoid robot is now, how is it going to talk? How is it going to answer questions outside of just the doing stuff? You're going to want a good AI that you don't have to build from scratch. And so that for me alone, the price of investment doesn't really make sense, because I think there's so much patting on the back that's going to happen. Similarly with the SpaceX, I mean, you have, because of Musk's companies, you literally have rocket engineers who work on both sides of the house, both on Tesla and SpaceX, that can help with the engineering of literally how do you build the most robust and efficient rocket. Let me help you guys out and help you build the car too, right? So at least you see that benefit. That's just my thought.
So good financial advice, John.
I did not say that. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I can say what I did, and that's clear. All right, so I thought this was interesting. I think you're continuing to see more and more of these companies. They're just telling GM's telling thousands of suppliers to begin phasing out China-sourced components for its North American built vehicles, aiming for a transition as early as 2027. GM wants everything from electronics and wiring to raw materials and basic hardware sourced closer to home. Who would have thought?
Imagine if you had to just listen to Elon like even 5 years ago. Like it's so bizarre, man. I mean, people's hate for him has blinded good judgment on a lot of things, and it's really becoming apparent as we move forward.
Well, dude, Mary led, so how like I mean, who's Elon, right? No, I'm joking. All right. Well, Joe, how about this? You close us out with or maybe depending on what's next, but yeah, hit us with this one, man.
Apple CarPlay. If you if you've still struggled in your life and you don't know how to use Bluetooth and or sign into your Spotify, you're gonna need Apple CarPlay. So Tesla is about to finally surrender to Apple CarPlay. This is a Bloomberg report, so take that for what it may be. But they report that Tesla has started testing the capability internally and could roll it out within a few months. But I mean, anybody who uses Apple Maps, like I really don't see the benefit of Apple CarPlay, but hey, whatever.
I don't have an iPhone. I am one of those Android losers, I guess they call us. I don't remember. But there's nothing that my phone can do that my car cannot do just as well, if not better. It's nice to be able to tap the mic and say play, and then anything I can dream up on Spotify or YouTube Music. I have them both linked. I can listen to podcasts. I can do anything. I can tell it to navigate. It just works. If I want my text messages to show up on the screen, they can. I can respond to them there. The next appointment in my Google Calendar is suggested as my next navigation point. This is pretty effective already. My concern with CarPlay, with all of these systems, is that who is the product? The manufacturer is really a big chunk of the product, and we don't know what the licensing fees are going to be next year or the year after when you're hooked. And Apple and Android are already trying to change to a newer, different system that's going to cost more, and it begins. It's always free at the beginning. That's how they get you. And then pretty soon you've given up on your own development and just use theirs instead. And now you're beholden to them. And we see it with all the other parts of the auto design business as well, where Hyundai wanted to see if they could put light shows on their cars, but they don't control any of the software from anywhere past the ECU. It's going to, it just makes it impossible. There's no way to do it. We have too many suppliers between here and there. Tesla controls everything. It just works. And there's no fear of the cost changing because it's their cost. They already developed it. I think this is a solution to a problem that almost no one has. If Tesla decides to do it, great. I won't be surprised if this turns out to be a Bloombergler exclusive turd, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think it's going to be. I don't know how many people. I mean, Tesla's already selling so many vehicles, right? And they're number one with so many sales. It's just like, I mean, I guess this could probably inch some people over, and I think that's what Tesla's looking at. They're probably looking at that 0.001% of people of a sales that they could possibly get to increase their TAM. But yeah, I don't know.
If it's easy enough to do, I guess do it. But I don't know how complicated it is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to be some type of add-on. I don't think you're going to get into an Apple CarPlay or get into a Tesla and it completely is Apple CarPlay. I could see it being more of an integration of like the key aspects that make Apple CarPlay great, which is like the integration with Spotify, Apple Music, whatever those key things are. I feel like there's going to be some, but I don't think it's going to replace it. Because also too, here's the thing: is how long is Apple going to support this? Unless there's more companies, because they obviously ditched the whole car. So now it's more of like, how long are they going to continue to support this long term? Especially when they're not going to be making a car. So unless there's more companies, and there's a decent amount of companies that have integration with it, but again, you're talking about what 50% of the market for car owners, maybe even less, because there's a ton more Androids anyways. But yeah, I for me, I felt like I have I won't mention the person's name, but I have that one person who just like they can't get over it. It's like ever since I had my Subaru and I went and bought a Tesla and it doesn't have Apple CarPlay, I'm like, bro, life is such an upgrade from a Subaru. Like it's not you know what I mean? Like it's just, your car drives itself and you want Apple CarPlay. And thankfully Tesla is a software first based company, and well, I don't want to say first, but no, they're very much a software company, and so that's why their operating system is very user friendly and works very well. So
Yeah, I just don't get the upside of Apple CarPlay. I never even I tried Android Auto once and it was like trash. But I mean, you get your messages, you get like you can respond, you can do like all kinds of things. Like I don't, yeah, I just don't know what the benefit would be. I mean, especially for like a lot of Apple owners that already have Teslas, like they already don't use it. So I don't know what's so great about Apple CarPlay. Why do people want it so bad? Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah,
Beats me, man.
it beats me. Well, either way, that gets us to the top of the hour. The end of episode 120. Hopefully, you can patronize the people who give an hour of their week. Whether it's Joe, follow him at I paid Elon. No, I'm joking. SJV Tesla, and then Hans and Brian FutureAza that both have YouTube channels, and they deep dive on various topics, whether it's Tesla specific deep dives, obviously supply chain along with AI and further. So please, they're tagged on YouTube and here on X. So make sure you give them all a follow. But either way, we will catch you guys all next week. And we hope you guys have a good weekend. See you, everyone. Oh, sorry, Brian, one last plug for Cyberfest.
Cyberfest and Furious Showtime racetrack in Clearwater, Florida, just outside of Tampa. It's going to be going on Saturday. I think doors open at 4:30 or 5. It runs until 11 o'clock. There'll be drag racing. You can get behind the wheel. There'll be off-roading, and there will be a big old light show. Don't miss it. Come join us. And even I'll be there for some reason.
All right, guys, we will catch you all next week, and have a good weekend.